On the county line tonight, we'll watch as some students learn to talk using different dialects.
All right, some other Westminster students spent their spring break rebuilding houses on the Gulf Coast.
Our on-the-road team is on a roll this week, showing their skills at a local roller rink.
And in tonight's County Close-Up, I'll sit down with a representative from the American Cancer Society to get the details on Relay for Life.
Westminster sports teams are back from Florida. DJ Yoakley has the details of their trip, plus your local sports news in Titantown Sports. We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now.
Well, when you think spring break, you usually think beaches and parties, right?
Exactly.
All right, well, this year, one group of students headed south to lend a helping hand instead. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Mike Walensky.
And I'm Elizabeth Barry. Over 30 Westminster College students spent their spring break repairing homes down south. Pearlington, Mississippi was hit hard by Hurricane Katrina last summer. And almost a year later, many homes are still in need of repair work. Tonight, we hear from some of the volunteers who gave up their time and efforts and returned with a new appreciation for the things they usually take for granted.
Trip scheduled for 2006 was open to the entire campus community. Westminster students responded. We had 31 students participate. Our work in the Gulf Coast consisted of mucking out homes, which was basically taking all of the items that people owned from their lifetime of collecting things that had been destroyed or trashed during the hurricane flooding, and taking it out of their homes and throwing it out on the street. As I reflect on the trip, I think back to our students and how hard everyone worked and how everyone worked together. Trips like this really are most valuable when there's personal contact with the people that you're working with. And we had opportunities to work with the local folks who lived there.
And so I was getting to know the people. I worked at 4 different sites, I think, and we talked to one guy named James who gave us some of his homemade jam, and really these people giving whenever they had nothing of their own. And
I think one thing is just like a lot of the people are getting like depressed because it's been almost 6 months since the hurricane and so much still needs to be done and they still need so much help. I think like overall it was a really good experience. I feel like we got to work a lot, we worked hard, we got to see a lot of the area.
Wow, Mike, I'm so impressed by all of them and all the work that they went down there to do.
That is a great way to help out.
During spring break down south.
Is great. Wait,
I know.
Is that a little southern drawl I hear?
It might have been a little bit. Sorry, it just comes out.
I wish you were from the south there. Well, you know, everyone knows the southern accent, but there are a lot of other accents and dialects out there. And some Westminster students are talking kind of funny because they have a dialect workshop. The County Line's Aiden Miwa listens in.
Top of the morning to ya.
No, it's not St. Patrick's Day. It's a new workshop at Westminster College where only accents are acceptable. Taught by Professor John Gresh, a professional actor who had been trained in many dialects, he says that some dialects are easier than others for people to do.
Depends, because everybody has an ear, and some sounds are easier for other people. For example, for me, I grew up with Hungarian and Slavic grandparents, so the Slavic tongue is not too hard for me to go into. For the Russian and for the other kind of different Slavic tongue. So, and everybody comes from somewhere, so people have kind of a tendency to gravitate to certain sounds.
Only students take part in these classes. Professor Eileen Hendrickson of Theater and Department Chair David Barner also enjoy these classes. Dr. Barner says that he wanted to take the class to get an edge.
Because I always noticed that the radio disc jockeys that knew how to do dialects had a little bit of an advantage. They could have some fun on holidays. They could do commercials that were related to the particular business, like an Italian restaurant or a French restaurant, or, you know, on St. Patrick's Day, you could have a lot of fun. And so I thought it'd be a neat thing to learn.
Other people take the class for fun, for an edge, and George takes it because he likes the girls. But regardless, it's a good learning experience and everyone benefits. In Lawrence County, I'm Aiden Miwa for the County Line.
Well, Liz, I hear some of the different dialects they're working in addition to the Irish, just coming off of St. Patrick's Day, but also Italian and Spanish.
That's right. Boy, I wish I could do that. You know, it's interesting that a lot of different people have different dialects and all those things.
Yeah, different people pick different things.
Now, after a day of exercising your vocal cords, you might find yourself a little bit parched. Some people in our area get water from very different places that you might not think of, not just out of your faucet. The County Line's Stevie Nelson shows us a local spring that's quenching local thirst.
Come from all over the area to do just this. They say it's worth going the extra mile to get good, free drinking water.
I've been coming here for 20 years.
Is there something about the water?
Oh yeah, it's spring water. I have a spring myself, but I worry about it because it's the type that can get contaminated, and we just use it for just doing things like bathing, clothing, and things like that. We use the drinking water here.
While some people are stocking up on their water, others only stop by to fill their canteens for a quick drink. How long have you been coming here for the water?
As long as I've been alive.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's special about this water here?
Tasty and cold. It's right on the way. There's old train tracks around here we ride on all the time. And it's right on the way to the train tracks, so it's always a nice place to get a drink on the way. A couple hours on the train tracks riding.
What kind of water do you have at home?
Just a well. Doesn't taste very good. Not good at all.
Steve Minozzi comes all the way from Mercer to get water for his family.
Actually, I'm here because my wife likes this water. She used to buy water all the time, and said, why do you buy water when I can go to Leesburg Falls and get it for free? So I did, and I spoiled her, and now this is all she'll drink.
A man from Hermitage fills up as much as he can haul.
I've only got 32 gallons today. I usually get about 60 gallons. But I have some stuff in my truck, and I don't have enough room for it.
From jugs to bottles, it seems like this is the locals' favorite watering hole.
Popular place, especially because the falls is, right here, so people get a drink and they go over to see the falls, take a walk in the woods.
Whether you come with jugs, bottles, or on horseback, everyone leaves this Leesburg spring with their thirst quenched. From Leesburg, I'm Stevie Nelson for the County Line.
Well, still to come on the County Line, we'll see if the on-road team can show off any skills at a local rolling rink.
That's right, and plus DJ Yoakley will bring us up to date with his new spring sports. That's all coming up right after the break.
Okay, girls, at 3 o'clock.
What is he looking at?
Oh, it's so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Open your window, say something.
Oh, he's really gonna down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Thank you. Honey, finish up. Come on, we gotta go. Ew. What's wrong?
Something's on my glass.
Let's see. Oh, it's lipstick. Excuse me, ma'am. Could we just have a new glass, please? This one's dirty. Thank you.
Mom.
Honey, I don't want you to get sick. I don't know what's on that glass.
Oh, have me one too.
Oh, you want a soda beer?
Yeah.
There you go. There's some honey right here, too.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
Welcome back to the County Line. This week, our On the Road team found themselves on a different set of wheels. Garrett and Pam laced up their skates at the Olympic Fun Center, where they found a lot more to do than just hit the rink.
Welcome to On the Road. I'm Garrett Horvath.
And I'm Pamela Marlowe.
And this week's travels take us to the Olympic Family Fun Center here in Hermitage.
Yeah, it looks like everyone of all ages is having a rolling good time. What's the attraction here, girls? Why do you come?
Because I like to skate and associate with my friends.
Because everyone is here and it's a nice place to see everyone and you have fun skating. Wow.
Basically, most of our hours are evenings because the kids are in school in the day. We do have one day time for toddlers, but everything else is evenings and then all day on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Skating is probably the main thing, only because it's been a skating rink for 30 years. Laser tag and the rock climbing, but those are also very popular.
And how often do you come here?
Every Wednesday.
I come here with her every Wednesday.
At least 5 days a week. I love kids. I like to be around kids. I think that they need something in the community to be fun, to show them that they don't need to be out on the streets, show them that you can have a good time without drugs and alcohol and gangs, and that's what we try to promote here.
So why are you here today?
Want to have fun.
What are you going to do to have fun?
Skate. Jam skating is kind of like dancing on skates. The kids will do different dance moves on the skates. They'll do handstands and flips and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Roll Bounce. It was a movie that was out this past fall, but they did a lot of jam skating in that movie, and now they're starting to do competitions.
We've learned today from everybody around here that there's so many possibilities to do at the Olympic Fun Center.
Anything from laser tag, roller skating, arcade games, and of course, hanging out with friends.
That's what's important. Well, that's it for this week's On the Road.
I'm Pamela Marlowe.
And I'm Garrett Horvath.
We'll catch you next week.
Oh, that looks like so much fun.
Liz, can you do some of those tricks?
Yeah, I'll have to work on them. I'll show you one other day.
I want to see them because I was quite impressed there. I was quite impressed. Right, now, construction zones are often a pain for our on-the-road team when they're going out on the road, but they'd have an even harder time without PennDOT. And now PennDOT is looking for some help. They're looking for volunteers to help with the Great Pennsylvania Cleanup Day. The day is a time for volunteers to pick up litter along roadsides, in parks, and other areas. PennDOT spends nearly $10 million a year cleaning up litter, and they say that number could easily double or even triple without the help of volunteers. This year's cleanup day is scheduled for April 22nd, and if you want to help out, you can contact the district PennDOT office.
PennDOT is taking on another project. They plan to replace a bridge on Old Pulaski Road. Beginning in April, workers will demolish the existing bridge crossing McClangan Run and construct a brand new bridge in its place. PennDOT will close the road for the project, but it hopes to have it open again by August.
Pennsylvania hunters are complaining to state lawmakers about the low deer population in the state. Last hunting season brought in the lowest number of antlered deer in 20 years. On Wednesday, 3 state representatives held a hearing in Du Bois. The hearing was to give hunters a chance to voice their concerns and make suggestions on how to better control the deer population.
And Relay for Life is an annual tradition here at Westminster College, and it's coming up very soon.
It sure is. So in this week's County Close-Up, I'll sit down with Jim Leslie, the representative of the American Cancer Society, who will fill us in on the details of this fundraiser.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
The
The Lawrence County Humane Society believes in the safety of spaying and neutering your animals. Spaying and neutering can have many long-term benefits.
We at the Lawrence County Humane Society believe that all animals should be spayed or neutered. Many reasons why, but the biggest reason is that they will be a happier, healthier pet. Also, it alleviates the overpopulation problem.
Getting your animals spayed and neutered is one huge step in making sure that more animals are healthy and find loving homes.
Well, Relay for Life at Westminster College is just a few weeks today. Joining me tonight is Jim Leslie from the American Cancer Society. Welcome, Jim. Thanks for coming today.
Sure, thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about what is Relay for Life. What exactly goes on at the event?
Well, Relay for Life is the signature fundraising activity for the American Cancer Society. Normally it's a 24-hour event just to signify that once you're diagnosed with cancer, it's with you 24 hours. Westminster's, however, is a 12-hour event due to some campus regulations. So
okay, there's no lights down at the track, so
right.
It's kind of hard to be there at night.
Kind of need some lights to be able to walk around at night. So.
Okay, what are some of the special events planned for this year's event? I know
there's entertainment throughout the whole thing. There's different games. There's going to be a frozen T-shirt contest. There's a flyover from the Medevac helicopter, and he'll be landing and giving, tours of the helicopter. Fireworks at the end. But a couple of the good things added are there's a survivor's walk. Anyone who has been diagnosed with cancer at noon, come down, or before noon to register. We'll walk the track as survivors, cheered on by everybody there to help you in your fight against cancer. Then at dusk, there are luminaries that are lit in honor or memory of a loved one, and they'll light the track until 10 o'clock when it's over.
Okay, now these luminaries are sold as part of the fundraiser, right?
Right. They're $5 a piece this year. You can buy them at the bookstore on campus or any of the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity. They're the sponsor of the event. You can also call the Cancer Society office.
What are some of the other ways that you can donate?
We have an online site this year. It's www.acsevents.org/Westminster College Relay. You can just go on there. It gives some information about the event, and you can donate online. You can also come down to the event, and we'll accept any donation. There's no minimum amount. So.
Okay, how much money do you hope to raise?
This year our goal is $24,000. Last year we did almost 21, so we're hoping to raise that a little bit this year to $24,000.
Okay, what are some of the things that the American Cancer Society does with this money?
We fund patient services in Lawrence County with the money that's raised here. Things like Road to Recovery. We offer transportation for cancer patients to their chemotherapy treatments. We also have Reach to Recovery. There's Look Good, Feel Better for women to teach them makeup tips and wigs and turbans if they've lost their hair from treatment. Man to Man is a prostate cancer support. There's a lot of different programs that we offer. Wigs, medication assistance financially, a lot of things that go on.
Okay, now you mentioned the Survivors Walk. Let's talk a little bit more about that. If some of our viewers are survivors or have surviving family members, how can they get involved?
If you want to come to the relay, just be there before noon and register so we can contact you again next year to come to the walk. And then at noon, the track is cleared from all the teams that are participating, and the only people on the track are the cancer survivors. We try and surround the track, and everybody cheers on the survivors to help them in their battle against cancer.
Okay, is there anything else that viewers can do to participate? If you're not a survivor.
Just come down, walk the track, see what it's all about. It's just a good time. It's a celebration of life.
Okay, now how do the walkers get sponsorship for them?
You can do a lot of teams will just do fundraisers. A lot of them, especially on the college campus, they'll do online fundraising. Just send an email to your whole address book and ask for donations. There's different fundraisers. I know the library has some cans out just to throw your change in. Okay. Almost any kind of fundraiser you can think of.
Well, there's definitely a lot of stuff to get the $24,000.
Yep.
All right, John, I want to thank you for coming on tonight.
Sure, Mike.
Great to have you. And just for some more information, the Relay for Life will be held at Bury Stadium on the Westminster College campus in New Wilmington on April 8th. It starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 10 at night. And the survivor ceremony will be held at noon. So thanks for tuning in. More County Line is on the way.
Crackhead. crackhead, drug dealer, gang member, all kicked out of the community with the help of kids
like me.
Me. You can help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how.
It's time we're judged by what we do,
not how we look.
Hi everybody, this is Tim McGraw for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, I spend a lot of time on the road and I see some funny things out there, but one thing that's not so funny is someone who's about to drive drunk. So take the keys and be a friend, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Good evening, Titan fans, and welcome to Titantown Sports. I'm DJ Yoakley. Now, it's been an extremely long and busy week for Westminster sports with all the spring teams headed for warmer weather in the south. So here we go with all the sports. Starting off with the track team that went to Coastal Carolina to take part in the Shamrock Invitational. Just to put things in perspective a little bit, the Titans competed against Division I teams like Iowa and other Big Ten teams. That being said, a few bright stars stood out for the Titans. Adam Habavny posted a 5th place finish in both the javelin and the shot put, while Sonia Cole stepped up and tossed the Iron Rock 38 feet 9 inches to finish in 7th, but atop all Division III competitors. A few notable finishes include freshman Kristen Van Sickle and her 11th place finish in the 400, and senior Reese Robinson placed 28th. Congratulations to the Titan track stars on their success and against the top competition in the country. If you're looking forward to seeing these athletes in action, the track and field teams will return to action on Saturday in Slippery Rock. Moving right along to the tennis team adventure in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, where things didn't go according to plan. Coming off a pack win against pack rival W&J, the Titans couldn't come up with a win against McAllister, Heidelberg, FDU Florham, or Dickinson. Standouts for the Titan netters include freshman Stefan Hendricki and partners senior Chris Hicksonbaugh and sophomore Dusty Rhodes, all of which ended up with at least one win. The tennis team is in action tomorrow at Thomas More. Start time is at 6 o'clock. And now for news on how the Diamond men and women did in Florida, let's go to Steve Brink with baseball softball update.
Hello Titan fans, I'm Steve Brink with a spring update for the baseball and softball teams. Those teams both came back from their Florida trips last week with sub 500 records. Baseball team came back at 4-6, the softball team at 3-7. The baseball team, a couple of good things for them though down there. A couple of sophomores, Don Wolmerdorf and Don Kirkwood, both came back with pretty high averages. Wolmerdorf a team high best at batting average 412. And Don Kirkwood a 400 average on the mark. So a couple good things there. Eddie DeRose, a team high 11 RBIs down in Florida. He had a great trip as well. And a couple of pitchers. Evan Triplett came back 2-0. And Jake Zatchak with his first collegiate victory as he pitched a complete game in a win over Kenyon down in Florida. Coming up for the baseball team this weekend, they've got Waynesburg opening up in the pack. They're at Waynesburg on Friday. That's a 3 o'clock game. And then here in New Wilmington, they've got a doubleheader against the Yellow Jackets. Game time starts at 1 p.m. Now for the softball team, they came back 3-7, as I mentioned earlier. And boy, it was tough for them. They came back with a 243 team average, so didn't hit the ball quite too well and made a lot of errors. The team came back as a team that hit 37 errors for the week, so they didn't do too well in the field either. But one person who did do very well is Jen Pancake, and she came back with a .70 ERA as she pitched 50 of the 66 innings down there for the Lady Titans, who came back with a 3-7 record. Westminster doesn't open up pack play for softball until next weekend when they host Thomas More here on March 31st. That's a Friday, but they are in action this weekend as they host Penn State Barron tomorrow on Friday. That's going to do it for this edition of the Spring Pack Report. Let's go back to DJ Oakley for more Titantown Sports.
Thanks, Steve. And just to recap the softball trip, here's a look at some averages. Jen Pancake is having a great start to her year. Her ERA is a microscopic .70. Batting-wise, as Steve said, the Titans are batting .243 as a team, but Titan backstop Stephanie Cornicelli is batting a very respectable .333 with 2 RBIs, and senior Abby Mazar is having a blast in the batting box with .320 average and 6 RBIs. The softball ladies split today, 1 win, 1 loss against Pitt Greensburg. The Titan ladies will face off against Penn State Barron tomorrow at 3 p.m. at home, so go out and support the Lady Titans as they try to repeat as PAC champs. Sticking with bats and balls, the Westminster baseball team had a hard trip in Florida, playing some of the top teams in the country in St. Scholastica, Alvernia, and Kenyon. The injury bug bit the Titans extremely hard, knocking out 3 of their starting pitchers for the year. Making the adjustments for the Titans, Coach Carmen Nocera and the troops went on and got big innings out of veteran Jason Mackey and newcoming varsity players Andrew Robinson, Corey Baker, and Gary DeBaldo. The Titans didn't have much trouble at the plate as they had 4 home runs in one game against Delaware Valley. And freshman surprise for the Titans was John Izzo batting .350 with a home run and 7 ribbies. The Titans are in action earlier with La Roche, and they had a 8-6 win over La Roche. The winning pitcher was John Izzo, and Brian Andrews went 2 for 3 from the plate. That does it this week for Titantown Sports. Go out and support the spring sports teams as they return to action this weekend. For a full schedule of when and where sports are going down, log on to www.westminster.edu/athletics. Thanks for stopping by. There's more County Line coming up right after the break.
I got a filet of sole and a cracked crab for Mr. Studied higher math back in school and now can order expensive lunches and charge it to the company.
Next office down the hall.
Well, thanks. Have a good one.
Ralph Hernandez, congratulations! You can now get college loans, government jobs, and job training. Men must register with Selective Service when they turn 18. Go to sss.gov or the post office.
It's the law.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
Safety Authority is launching a Speak Up campaign in the state. The campaign encourages patients and their families to be more active and vocal participants in their own health care. PSA officials say people often don't speak up because they're intimidated by their doctors. The Patient Safety Authority's website has information on how you can speak up when it comes to your own health care.
The Pennsylvania legislatures want to make it easier for college students to transfer their credits between state community colleges and public universities. The introduced bills will establish a credit system to allow students to transfer their core classes from school to school. State-owned schools would have to participate, but private colleges and universities could decide for themselves whether or not they'll join in.
And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, why not give this a try? Westminster College is hosting a paste paper workshop. Art professor Peggy Cox will demonstrate the method of making your own decorative paper. You can then use the homemade paper for book covers, stationery, and collages. The workshop is this Saturday from 9 to 4 in Patterson Hall on the Westminster College campus. That does it for this week's edition of The County Line. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you come back for us next week, and we'll have a lot more local stories for you.
We sure will have the local stories. Our On the Road team will head out to another local attraction. They always seem to find something exciting to do in the area. Roller skating was great, one of those sporty kind of things.
It was. That was very fun. And you know what? I was very inspired by their roller skating. So this weekend, I'm going to go ice skating. Well, at least I'm going to go watch some other people go ice skating.
You're going to try, huh?
Yeah. I don't think I can do it.
You were inspired. Were you inspired by their sports? What do you have up in store for sports?
Coming up in sports, we got a lot of baseball action, a lot of softball action, not to mention track and tennis.
Yes, I'm so excited about these spring sports being back.
Oh, so am I.
Hopefully the spring weather will come back soon.
Yes,
because it's
I know it will.
Cold out there.
It's got to be here eventually. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Have a great night.